Okay, Larry, so as promised, I said I would go through these 5 clips that I took. Every single video that we did, that we looked at, was basically it's going to be a decrease in terms of how high your hands go. Looking at this in a clock face position, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to draw that little line there, okay? And obviously very top being 12, okay, which we can never really get to in terms of where our hands need to be. Second thing, if you just go with your hands up to 11 o'clock, which is what we're looking at, that's basically where our full swing will be, okay, and you can see right there, if we were to continue, you look where the hands are, basically right at our 11 o'clock spot. Okay, and then we actually continue the swing through. We're going to get ourselves, okay, basically 12 o'clock coming through to a nice high finish. Okay, so that's something there that we're looking at and basically really wanting to get to. Okay, we really need to make sure that we finish with our hands being up nice and high. Okay, so top of your swing, okay, you can see right there where we are, basically being right at that 11 o'clock. Okay. Second swing that we look at, okay, I'm going to pull this up. So this is our 10 o'clock swing. Okay, and again, so now at this point, we want to make sure that our hands get to 10. Okay, and another thing that I had pointed out to you, and you can really see it in this video, okay, was when we do our rehearsal swing that we talked about. So our 2 kind of rehearsals of our backswing and our downswing, okay, and then you really go into your actual full swing from there. You can see how all your weight is really on your left side, okay, and it's really, you're presetting yourself too much, and then you actually get going even farther forward coming through, which is causing you to hit the ball heavy. So you'll see in, I think, maybe the next clip is when we talked about it, you'll see that it's definitely in a better setup position, okay, more 50-50 for in terms of your weight distribution. Okay, so for this one, if we let this video play, okay, we're going to see that our hands go approximately to 10 o'clock. So this, again, is going to go a little shorter than that full, okay, and that's what we're looking to get. So you can see the hands now are approaching 9, okay, when we get to the top, we're basically right on, maybe a little high, but I'm not going to be obviously too picky. I can see where the hands are, okay, at this point, right at 10. And again, now at this point, we want to make sure that we get those hands going through at least to 2 o'clock to make sure we have a nice full follow through. You can see where we are. Hands are definitely past that. Okay, and it's definitely a shorter follow through on this one than compared to the last one that you saw. Okay. So again, when we get to the top, we're at 10, and then we get that high follow through. Okay. Third one that we have, it's our 9 o'clock swing. Okay, so this one we should have it basically go about 3/4, maybe slightly under that in terms of distance. Okay. So again, we're going to take this club back once we get it going here. Okay, so hands now are basically right at 7, 8, and we should stop them right about there. You can see how our hands are going just a little too far, so we're basically right where we were earlier with our 10 o'clock. Okay, so for this one, we'd like to see a stop right in here. Okay, you see it just goes a little too high. And now to get it to go to a shorter distance, what we need to do from there is we're going to have to shorten our follow-through. Anytime we shorten our follow-through and we take the club too far back, we're decelerating. So we're more likely to possibly hit the ball a little bit heavy. Okay, which you can see that one you actually hit pretty solid. Okay, but our hands finished in a much shorter position. Okay, so again, where we are now, where we want to be is right in here. Okay, where we are at impact, and then where we want to be on follow through at minimum is right there. Okay, or even right in here. Okay, so 9 o'clock, we just need a little bit of a tune-up. Okay, and as I say, the farther down the clock you get, so in terms of your 9s, 8s, and 7s, it is much harder, so you can't be quite as tough on yourself, okay, as you would be with any of the other ones. Okay, so again, our clock face. Okay, so this is our 8 o'clock. So in this case, we want to make sure, okay, hands are getting to 7. Basically want our hands to stop right in here. Okay, and as you're going to see, we're going to go a little bit farther. So this one's almost more like your 9 o'clock swing. Okay, so when you get to that 9 o'clock swing, okay, we're actually at 10. So you can see how we're just off slightly. So right now, if you want to think to yourself that if you have a 9 o'clock distance, or an 8 o'clock distance, okay, rather, okay, you would almost need to take it to what it feels like 7 o'clock, okay? So we really kind of need to exaggerate on that smaller side, okay? So on the shorter side, okay? And then this one here, when we actually go to hit the ball, okay, our follow through here should be at this point, at the minimum, okay? And you can see how, again, which is just fine, we're going through. But every single time, you can see how the finishes get shorter and shorter. And that's exactly what they need to do in order to keep the ball going fairly short. Okay? And the last look at is our 7. So this is basically our last kind of a wedge shot that we would ever hit. Okay? Basically now from here, once we get to this point, okay, once we get to 7, it's basically just chip shots from here. Okay? Because our 7 o'clock should only probably go about 35 yards. So anything inside that, we would probably have a tendency to chip. So we take the club back. Okay. Hands are starting. You can see the club's going past 7, which it should. And we should stop right in about there. Okay. And you can see where we actually end up stopping is at 9. Okay, so those shorter distances is where we really need to work on, okay? So you really have to try and feel that club staying short going back, okay? Because the moment, like I said earlier, the moment you get that club going too far back, okay, you're going to have a tendency to finish in a lower position, okay? Almost like a decel. Okay? And then what's going to happen is we might hit it heavy. Or in this case, a lot of your shots, since they were going a little far, you could see where our finish was. So really that would be almost a 9 o'clock type shot. Okay? So what we really need to do is just try and match them up on both sides. Okay? From 9 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, really try and hit some shots just going to those distances. And really just try and keep it short. Okay? Because you can see how it got a little bit long on those. But like I say, it takes some time, it takes some practice. So on those shots, make sure what you do is you hit, say, 5 or 6 balls with each clock distance. And then eventually, once you're done that, I want you to start rotating them. So you got to almost kind of practice in a random fashion. So trying to get one at 11 o'clock, the next one at 7, at 9, and then at 10, kind of all over the place so you can really start to develop a feel. And that's how you really go about hitting those shots. So it's that's the technique. Now it's just going to be basically in your hands to practice. So if you have any questions about it, just let me know. I guess I'll see you in a couple weeks, and we'll take a look at it then and see how we're making out.